What's for dinner? Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to my channel, Chef Z Cooks. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the best homemade chili. Now listen, there are a ton of ways of making this dish and today I'm going to be sharing my go-to recipe. Now this is one of those recipes that every single time I make it for my friends and family, they're always asking me on how I make it, and everyone is surprised to learn that I actually use ground turkey in addition to some other things to make this chili. Now, despite how you feel about ground turkey, because I know there are some people who like it and some people who just aren't that crazy about it, I strongly urge you to give it a try. Now, like always, stay tuned until the very end of the video because I will be sharing some quick tips to help you get this recipe right each and every single time. Let's go ahead and get started. Making homemade chili is super easy, and this is one of those one-pot dishes that truly comes alive in no time. So we're going to start things off by heating up our Dutch oven, and once it gets nice and hot, we're going to go ahead and add our spicy Italian sausage and our ground turkey. Now you're going to notice that I didn't add any oil to the pot, and that's because the sausage has enough natural oils that will release as it begins to cook. In fact, you want to be really careful when it comes to oil in this dish. You don't want to add too much because then you're going to have an oily mess at the end, and that's something that you definitely don't want. We're now going to add a pinch of kosher salt and some black pepper. And the beauty of this dish is that you really don't have to add too much salt and pepper because the sausage has enough flavor on its own. So I suggest adding some salt and pepper to taste, and this is something that you can even do at the end. So once the turkey and the sausage has browned, we're going to go ahead and add some spices. So we're going to add some garlic powder, onion powder, some cumin, some oregano, some chili powder, and some smoked paprika. And we're going to mix everything until it's well combined. Now, if you're someone who really doesn't like spicy dishes, go ahead and use mild sauces and go ahead and cut back on the amount of chili powder. We're now going to add some tomato paste, and we want to make sure to work that in until it's well combined as well. And like always, you can definitely use tomato sauce if that's what you have on hand. We're now going to add our fresh veggies, so some onions, some green bell peppers, some red kidney beans, some white beans, and some chickpeas, which I absolutely love. And we want to make sure to mix that all in until it's well combined. And as you can see, this dish is already coming together, and you have to resist the urge of eating it right here, right now. We're now going to add another pinch of salt and pepper, and again, this is something that you can wait to do at the very end to see if your dish even needs it, because those Italian sausage itself has so much seasoning that it honestly flavors the entire dish in addition to the spices that we added. We're now going to add some water, and I added about 4 cups of water, and this is super easy. You can eyeball it. All you want to do is add enough water so that it covers the chili completely, and you want to mix it in as well until it's well combined. And now we're going to cover it with a lid, and we're going to cook it for about an hour. Now you do want to check on it from time to time, but as you can see, this dish is ready in no time, and you can make it as thick or as runny as you like it. Feel free to enjoy this chili with some rice, with some bread, or your favorite side dishes. And honestly, chili is all about the toppings, so feel free to add some sour cream, some scallions, or even cheese. So there you guys have it, my recipe for a homemade chili. Comment below if you have any questions. And until next week, I'm Chef Z y buen provecho. Alright guys, here are some quick tips to help you get this chili right each and every single time. For my first tip, feel free to use ground beef if you're not that crazy about ground turkey. If you use ground beef, just make sure to use something that's a little bit on the leaner side because you don't want your chili to come out oily. For my second tip, feel free to use some mild sausages instead of the spicy sausage that I used in today's video. Now, if you're not crazy about spicy food, this is a great way to tone down the spiciness of this dish. Now, just know that not all sausages are created equal, and some sausages will release more oil than others. So if you have a sausage that ends up being really oily, don't worry, it's not going to ruin the dish. All you have to do is skim the oil from the top as it's cooking. For my third tip, if you have time, definitely let this dish sit either for a day or a couple of hours, because as it cools down and as this dish actually sets, it actually tastes so much better because those flavors really have a chance to come alive. And for my last and final tip, feel free to make this dish in a slow cooker. And if you do, just know that it may take a little bit longer depending on the settings of your slow cooker. So if you're gonna cook it on low, obviously it's gonna take a couple of hours. And if you're gonna cook it on high, it'll probably take you about 2 hours or so. Now, I personally like to make this dish on a Dutch oven on top of the stove because it actually cooks the fastest. And in my opinion, it tastes the best. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to join the Chef Z family. Click that bell so that you're notified each and every single time I post an all new video. And if you need some inspiration on what to make next, go ahead and click right here.